be fair.
Where do you think you can finish next season then, realistically?
It depends on who comes in, but if I had to give a prediction, I'll probably say about 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that's honest. I hear that. Maybe even that is too high, but we'll see.
That's too high. That's too high.
Well, you finished 8th now. So what do you mean? What do you mean? Wait.
That's not too, listen, we only finished 3 points behind.
This is what I'm saying though. But when you look at it, 100 goals and only conceded 35, but then they finished how many points behind Liverpool? It's crazy. Like, where is the management in these performances? Because that just doesn't. Those stats don't add up. Do you know what I'm saying?
When are we going to start questioning Pep, guys? Like, for real.
Yeah.
When are we going to get onto Pep? Like, seriously. Like,
to give it to Henderson, I'm just like, nah, man, you lot are taking the mick out of me. Like, when I watch football, not to be horrible, I don't tune into games to watch Henderson play. Do you get what I mean? And I don't.
Well, to be fair, I personally think that I agree with Pat. I do believe Kevin De Bruyne should have won it for his displays throughout the whole season, because he's been consistent. Like, he's been Man City. I think Man City's best player. Like you said, I don't think Henderson was Liverpool's best player.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point there, Jason.
So I don't really.
Big up yourself, Jason.
I think even Henderson himself is probably shocked that he won it. He knows that. That's what I'm saying. He knows that.
The jury's still out on him, in my opinion. The jury's still out on him. What is it? 5 years? Sorry, no. Yeah, 5 years.
First season that he's got to play as a striker all season.
It's been 5 years though.
First season he's got to play as a striker all season.
I'm just saying it's been 5 years. It's been a long time.
You can't be wrong and strong, John. You know, can't be. Well, 1 minute we're praising Jose for doing a good job, but then you know Martial. You know,
I gave him his flowers. I said he's done well, right?
What's happening? And welcome to another episode of Everyone's a Pundit. This is episode 42, and it's the end of the season, boy. We got there. We didn't think that we was at some point, but we got to the end of the season, and I'm happy to be joined by 3 other pundits with me today. And they are the guys that have been with me from the very beginning, man. So I thought it's only fitting that they join me at the end of the season. So if we can introduce ourselves, please. Let's start in with the Arsenal fan in the top left-hand corner that's looking rather bleak right now for you audio listeners. You ain't got a smile on or nothing, Tablos. Introduce yourself.
Boom, bam, bing, Mr. Jason Alex, come on.
Yes, I didn't think you was going to do the boom, bang, bing. I'm glad you did.
I do it all the time, bro.
It's trademarked. He has to.
That's it. And Pat?
Yes, what's happening? It's Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know it represents T. Let's go.
Man.
Come on.
And we welcome back John, who joined us on episode 2 when I said that Liverpool will not win the league. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, John, you know me already. Like, we're here, baby. We're here. So
let's
go.
And I'm Semps. I'm your host today. And yeah, man, we'll get straight into it. Episode 42. Today, we're just going to discuss the final day, and we're going to review the top 6 seasons, the top 6 teams season that they've had. We'll include Arsenal in that as well. So we'll make it 7. We'll make it 7. We'll include Arsenal. We got to John. John's looking a bit bamboozled, but we got to include them because Jason's here. We can't.
When you say the top 6, you mean the top 6 teams in the UK, or
this is the top 6?
Yeah, the top 6 in the table. Hey, John.
Audio listeners, John has just put up the top 6 table, and Arsenal are not in it. So, we'll include them, and we'll also discuss today Jordan Henderson winning Player of the Year. We'll discuss the Ballon d'Or being cancelled. I will also touch on David Silva, man, and where we what we think about him and the career he's had, being 10 years in the Premier League. And also we will obviously speak about what we think is going to happen next season, where our teams need to strengthen and where we think our teams are going to finish. If you are new to this, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz, share with your people if you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, give us a like, please. And we'll roll straight in, man. We'll start with the league leaders and the champions. So today was I think you won 2-1 in the end, wasn't it?
3-1 in the end.
3-1.
3-1 in the end to
3-1.
Newcastle. So today is not really about today. It's the damage was done a long time ago. So how you feeling, John? You got to lift up the trophy the other day. How does it feel then? Like, obviously there was no fans at the game, and everything like that. But I guess being at home, seeing your team lift the trophy, fans there or not, is still the same thing, I suppose, right?
Yeah, to answer your question, like, I think lifting the trophy made it feel real. Does that make sense? Even though even the sense of knowing that we've already won it, but I think seeing Hendo lift the trophy up and like seeing everyone like just being happy and kind of overjoyed at the moment, like it was like symbolic. And obviously, I'm sure you guys know, on the night we won the game, the other night, we lifted the trophy on 96 points, which is obviously kind of symbolic to the justice for 96 or the Hillsborough incidents. If you're not aware, so kind of all with kind of all of that being said, and kind of where we've come from as a club, you guys all know like what the journey's been like. The journey for me as a fan personally has been a struggle, but I think seeing kind of going from that to this, kind of like I can't ask for much more. So I'm the happiest fan right now, and like I can finally say I can finally add to any points of argument or any points of contention that Liverpool have won the league, and no one can really chat to us. Like if I was to put it plain and simple, champions of the world, champions of Europe, champions of England, like how sweet does that sound? And no one's done that before. So I can go on. There's other records that we've achieved in that same time that just make me feel so proud of my team. So I think that's the kind of actually the overall achievement. I'm proud of my team in it. So Sem, I know how you felt for all those years. Do you know what I'm saying? I know how you felt for all those years. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can say now, me personally, I'm going to warn you guys, I'm not taking it for granted, innit? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to take it for granted. Like, so yeah, man, I'm just happy and proud.
Yeah, well done. Congrats.
Thank you.
Deserved.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we big up Liverpool. And I say, to be honest, I think the next time we win it, Man United, it will be probably the best for me, because you do take it for granted. As I said in the past, I took it for granted. And just being like today, and in fact, we won't discuss us just yet, but, big up to Liverpool and doing what you lot done. And I said to one of my other guys who messaged me regarding the 96 points thing as well, and I said, you know what, one thing I can't take away from Liverpool is a special football club. It is.
Respect, man.
You can't deny the history. Do you know what I'm saying? When it comes to that symbolic English team, you look at Manchester United and you look at Liverpool. So, big up to you lot lifting the trophy, the title. I wish you didn't, but you did. I'm just being real, the rivalry. But I'm a football man at the end of the day. I love football. And yeah, man, I think you deserved it, especially for what you've done over the last 2 seasons. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You definitely deserved it. And you've been knocking. You was knocking under Brendan Rodgers. You had another few. There was one year where you finished second and you ran us close. And I think that we got lucky.
09, 08. I think that's the same year that Ryan Giggs won Player of the Year.
Is
By
that
the way,
the year?
15 appearances he made that year. Just adding. I'm just throwing that in for later for the Hendo talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you get ready. He's already got his rebuttals.
He's got it ready, boy. He's got the paper like you, Pat. He's got the paper and the stuff in the background.
That's why.
Every week I'm prepared now. You see that? So don't worry, JB.
Love that.
What are you lot saying, Pat, about Liverpool? Anything you want to add quickly?
They're a classy team, man. I've got to give it to them. The way they play, it's not just about the results. The performances are. I know recently they haven't been up to their best, but yeah, over the last 2 years, you've got to give it to them, man. They've been amazing. So yeah, great team, great players from front to back. Yeah, manager Jurgen Klopp, he's a classy individual as well. The thing I love Jurgen Klopp in terms of how how charismatic he is. You know what I mean? Even if you don't like Liverpool, you won't find many people that don't like Jurgen as a man. Do you know what I mean? Because he stands by. He's just a good individual with good morals. So yeah, great team, great players. Van Dijk, one of the best centre backs I've seen in recent years. I love watching Mane play. I love watching Trent Alexander. Obviously, Jordan Henderson, he's not my favourite player, but I do appreciate he's a workhorse and what he brings to the team. Then you've got guys like Chiesa that have come in and look really good. Obviously, same with Fabinho. So yeah, just great team. Well done.
Don't forget the fullbacks. Don't forget the fullbacks. Can't forget them.
I mentioned.
He mentioned Trent already, man. Calm yourself down.
I didn't mention Robertson, but yeah, Robertson's great as well. Yeah, no, from front to back, great team, man, great team. So yeah, well done.
I appreciate it, Pat. Man.
Jason, you want to add anything quickly?
Yeah, hats off to Liverpool, man. I mean, they've been consistent for 2 years now. I personally thought last season was probably their best. You'll probably see Liverpool for a while, but they've obviously gone that one step further and won the league this year. And yeah, man, you can't really begrudge them for what they've done. It's been a long time coming. 30 years. I'm saying 30 years is a long time.
A long
for
time.
A club like Liverpool not to win the Premiership. I mean, they've had little success on the way, like the Champions League twice and domestic cups here and there, but they always wanted to win the Premier League, and they've finally done it. I mean, they've got a good team, man. It's from goalkeeper to striker, the team is well balanced. You get what I'm saying? In every department,
definitely.
Well balanced, man. So you got a good manager, so good owners, good fan base. So yeah, well done. Congratulations.
Yeah. That's a good point you make there, Jason, about them being well balanced. Because that's exactly what they are, and they got a great manager, and they're the team that we've all got to try and catch. You know, I messaged one of my mates, Andy, who was on the podcast a few weeks back. You know, because I was just letting him know, like, Liverpool are top now, John. So you're naturally gonna get hate, you're gonna get negativity towards, because that's what it's like when you're on top.
It's weird, bro. How do I get it now?
Exactly,
I get it,
you see it,
and I understand the mentality of Man United fans. It's gonna as weird as that might sound, but when you're, it's like you look like, no offense to any of you guys here or anyone that I know personally, but it's like, why are you even talking, bro? Like, do you know what we just done? Like, you know what you know. So what I also like about it is that it's organic, and I mean it in the sense of, like, we try to do it in what I believe is like the football way, and not by doing the Pep way in having all the best players in the world and manufacturing success that way. Not that that should be looked down upon, but I like the fact that he's taken kind of like the Manes and the Robertsons and kind of brought these players in and brought them up another level, like, and you've seen it grow like in front of our eyes, and I think that's kind of added to kind of, you know, the overall success of the club at the moment. So yeah, man, like, got to give a lot of respect to Klopp and the board for backing him as well. So.
And yeah, man, like, I'm very big on, and people will know me now from being on this podcast for 42 episodes, that I'm very big on the manager is the conductor, and what happens on the pitch is ultimately down to the manager. And Liverpool have a great manager. Like you say, the manager is to get the best out of your players. That's what Fergie, in my opinion, was very good at. People think that we spent loads of money and we did this and we did that. You know, the last time we won the league, we had Cleverley and Darren Fletcher in the centre mid.
It's crazy.
Do you know what I'm saying? This is what Fergie used to do. He used to get the best out of good players, average players, you know, and make them up, bring them up a level. And that's what Jurgen Klopp has done. Robertson, Mane, because even when Mane was talked about possibly coming to United fans didn't want Mane, really. Do you know what I'm saying?
Even Liverpool fans, you know. So,
but Mane for me is, I keep saying it. If I had to choose a Mane or a Raheem Sterling, I'll choose a Mane. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how high I rate him. And you can see the season that Raheem Sterling has had. So, you know, big up Jurgen Klopp. I do like him. Wish he wasn't at Liverpool. Hopefully he leaves soon. But yeah, man, we'll keep it moving. Let us know in the comments if you've got anything to add to Liverpool and their success. But John, just before we move on, actually, what do you think is, obviously we know what your targets are for next season. Where do you think you will finish? And do you think that you need to strengthen? And if so, where?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a loaded question. So in terms of we need to strengthen, most definitely yes. I think it goes without saying that you cannot build on success without investing in it. like a little. And I do believe that we are going to invest in the club. It's just how much are we going to invest in the club? And part of me is almost like, you know, are we going to spend the money? And I think that's kind of where my concern would lie if we were to kind of invest. Because you know what? The hardest thing is, and I think Spurs have had this kind of issue, when you think of like Harry Kane, like it's so hard to bring in a number 2 because he's playing at such an elite level. You know, it's like, does a player want to come and sit knowing he's not going to play like week in, week out? The same with our front three. You know, our front three, for what they do, they're the best at our club. So anyone coming in technically is going to be rotating or not starting every other game. So that's one of the issues I think that we'll face definitely at summer, because I think we kind of, well, the Werner one is a little bit different because I think all that he wanted was the money, and that's clear to see because he's on £250 a week at Chelsea. He's the highest paid earner, which is crazy to me because he's 24 years old. What is he achieved? But you know, it's not about Chelsea. In terms of what was the other part of the question, Sam? Sorry.
Just where do you think you do need to strengthen? What areas?
So the areas I think of high importance to me is left back. Like we have to get covered for left back, because I think the last 2 or 3 seasons we've been quite fortunate when it comes to injuries, bar our first kind of 11 players, like our Van Dijk. If he's missed a game, it's only like 1 or 2. Henderson's probably been our biggest miss. But generally the first 11 don't really get injured, so we've been quite fortunate. But you know that there's always going to be a time when a player might get a knock in training, or you might go out on international duty and get an injury, and that's the things that we've got to kind of prepare ourselves for. So I'm hoping that we can definitely go for another push. I'm not going to put myself out there and say that we're going to win the league.
You don't need to. You don't need to. You've done it now. You know what I'm saying?
But if we can, I mentioned this before, Semp, as well, like maintaining that level, like, you know, 97 points last year, 99 points this year, you know, can we go and do another, you know, we're going to have to, I believe to win the league again, you're going to have to get 90 points, because Man City are going to strengthen, Man United are going to strengthen, Chelsea as well, you know, like everyone's doing bits to ensure that they're kind of pushing for that top 4. So I'm hoping to see a competitive race next year. I expect us to be top 3, you know, considering where we're at now, where the other clubs are at as well. I would expect us to still be pushing in and around, at least challenging. I think any Liverpool fan would kind of have that as a expected objective. So yeah.
Fair play, man. Big up again. Appreciate that, and I appreciate that honesty as well. I really do. Thank you for that. I'm not even gonna throw no banter, no shade your way. We'll leave that for some other fans that are gonna speak soon. Anyway, let's head over to because they're not in the top 6, but we're still going to include them in this discussion. Jason Alexander, Mr. Jason Alexander, come on.
Come on.
Can we analyze Arsenal's season, please?
It's been a pretty poor one, to be fair. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy that we finished 8th. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I started off last season thinking we'll probably make the top 4, you know, but it went to pot, you know, under Emery. The team weren't responding to him. We changed him, had Lundberg for a little while, but obviously he wasn't really cutting it to be your number 1 manager. So we got Arteta in, and I'm happy with Arteta, because obviously we got a lot of dead wood, and I seem to every season we seem to always have more dead wood than the previous. which baffles me, but we've got a lot of dead wood, especially in that sense, in that defense. You know what I'm saying? So for me, for what Arteta's had to deal with, I think he's done pretty well with the players that he's got. Now it's all about recruiting properly, because we've signed a few players, but we haven't signed where we need to sign. Like we got Pepe, the winger and whatnot. Hopefully we keep Aubameyang. I'd keep Lacazette as well. But I really want us to concentrate on that defence, man. I really want us to get a central defender and get a central midfielder.
You've got Saliba coming in. What do you think about him?
I haven't seen him play, so I can't really comment. Okay. You know, I haven't really seen him play. I've just heard reports.
That's it. I've heard a lot of stuff. Allegedly, he's meant to be really good. He is a centre. He is a centre back. So he is potentially the guy you're talking about.
I feel we need to get another one.
Okay.
Because obviously you can't really rely on David Luiz, because you know what happens with him. Mustafi, he's full of mistakes every now and again. Socrates, he's not getting picked. He's old anyway. So yeah, I mean, even today's game, you had Hold in there, and he gave away a stupid pass that led to their penalty, in which David Luiz did the foul.
Oh, David Luiz gave away the penalty today.
Yeah, but it started from Rob Holding's pass.
Okay,
Putting in that position, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, what Arteta's done, I'm not criticizing. He's done because he's made the team more organized and whatnot. You know, we can perform like you see last like a couple of weeks ago against Man City and Liverpool. Sorry, we did. You saw the performance. We can perform, but it's this little fundamental mistakes that causes us problems in the end, which either we end up losing or we end up drawing the game, and that's what he needs to cut out. So, yeah, I mean, we finished 8th. We got the FA Cup final against Chelsea. We could easily win that and get into Europa
easily,
like that.
you know, easily.
You know what's mad?
We've beaten Chelsea before in the FA Cup final, so it can be done.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not like oh, it's a team where shit, we're gonna get annihilated. We've beaten Chelsea in the FA Cup final before, so it's not like we can't do it.
Last year in the Europa League final, they scrubbed you lot 4-1.
Yeah, but under Emery, he didn't set the team up properly, though. You know what I'm saying? So it can be done, mate.
If you win the FA Cup, Jace, you win the FA Cup, Jace, would that make up for the poor season, or would you still feel as if
it's a bonus? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a bonus. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, we've had a great season because we won the FA Cup. It's just a bonus, innit? Like it's something to give the fans to smile about. Another trophy in the bag. But if you think about the season overall, in regards to like the season alone, it's been poor. You know, if it weren't for Aubameyang, I don't know where it would be, to be honest with you. You get what I'm saying?
Well, this is what I wanted to mention, Jason, because I haven't got the stats from last season, but I remember, you know, and I'll get on to what I said at the beginning with regards to Manchester United last season and the amount of goals that we leaked. Mm-hmm. But we talk about Arsenal's defence. You lot have conceded 48 goals, yeah? Mm-hmm. That's only one more than Spurs, you know? It's one more than Spurs.
Wow.
Where you lot have struggled, you scored 56 goals. Mm. Now, that is really, really bad. And I think if you lot don't keep Aubameyang, I think that needs to be...
Sorry, Sems, just to put into context, because you said they scored 56. How many have Tottenham scored? How many have Man United scored? Just to give us a bit of clarity.
Oh, okay. Well, Tottenham have only scored 61.
Okay.
I say only... Man United's only scored 66, so it's not a huge. Chelsea 69, Leicester 67.
Okay.
So it's not a huge difference, to be honest.
But it makes a difference, though, isn't it?
But every goal, exactly. And without Aubameyang scoring, you lot have struggled to get goals. And I think
go on.
No, I was just going to say, as well as getting a centre back, I think one of your main things needs to be keeping Aubameyang, because if he goes, you lot are gonna struggle to replace those goals.
Yeah, he's a quality striker, man, a top quality striker, and as we all know, top quality strikers are very few and far between.
Yeah, they are, man.
Yeah, so that will be very interesting.
There definitely needs to be more goals in that team. Can't be just relying on one player. I mean, we miss Aaron Ramsey. Yes, that's clear to see. We don't get no goals from midfield anymore. That's true. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good player. He was a good player, man.
Didn't Ramsey want to stay though?
He did. He just wanted more cash, innit?
Yeah, apparently more cash. I read that Emery took the contract away.
Yeah,
he saw Ozil sitting on 350k a week. He's like, how's my man not even playing?
Exactly.
Ozil doesn't really do anything. To be honest with you, he doesn't really do anything.
Well, we know that, Jason. He don't play.
I'm not bothered about if he's playing or not. I don't really care about how much money he's on, because at the end of the day, like,
but I think that affects players. That I'm not like, it's like so sorry to cut you off, Jace, but the whole like Timo Werner thing. Part of the reason why I believe he didn't come to the club was because of the amount of money he wanted. Now, if a 24-year-old comes in on 250 grand a week, like the Manes and the Salahs and the VVDs are like, big man. Like,
they're knocking on the door straight away.
But Aaron Ramsey is going to be like, yo, I want to stay, but give me more money.
Yeah.
Like, put me on what my man's on each year.
But he didn't get that contract under the current regime at the club.
That's true. So
Ivan Gazidis gave him that contract, then he bounced.
That's true.
Okay, if the current team that were there then, that are there now, were there then, he wouldn't have got that 100%. Right. Everyone knows that. You got what I'm saying? So
I hear that.
You know, there's no point knocking on the door saying, "Oh, I want that," because they wouldn't have offered it to him anyway. they know he shouldn't have been not given that. It's Ivan Gazidis that gave him that, and then he bounced to AC Milan. So he signed a 4-year deal, and we're stuck with him. No one wants to take him because of what he's on.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking that he might go to Fenerbahce, and they pay half of it or something like that. But he's in his last year of his contract anyway, so he needs to do something. You get what I'm saying? Whether or not he's fell out of love with football, he just wants to earn the money and then go get another club at the end of the season next year. Who knows? But you know, we are trying to get rid of him, but obviously nobody wants to pay the wages.
So what do you think then, Jason, for next season? Where do you think realistically Arsenal can finish? Because you know what's funny is, you know, I remember going back to watching some of these videos that we've done previously, and Dash, who is an Arsenal fan of Dash of Sports, you know, you guys would have seen him ridiculing, man, like laughing, saying Man United had the worst window. And it was talked about that Arsenal had the best window. How did we get to this position here where you, man, arguably having the best transfer window, end up finishing 8th?
I think our first half of the season actually killed us.
Well, you say that, but Man United's first half of the season weren't pretty.
Yeah, but obviously you've obviously got different mentality at your club, innit? So
fair enough.
I think that's what killed us, to be fair.
Where do you think you can finish next season then, realistically?
It depends on who comes in, but if I had to give a prediction, I'll probably say about 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that's honest. I hear that. Maybe even that is too high, but we'll see.
That's too high. How about that's too high?
Well, you finished 8th now. So what do you mean? What do you mean? Wait.
That's not too, listen, we only finished 3 points behind Spurs. That's not too high, bruv. 6th.
But you finished 8th. You finished 8th, bro.
And yeah, but that's 3 points behind the team that finished 6th. That's not too high for Arsenal, bro.
So how am I taking the mick if I say maybe not that high though?
You're saying 6th is too high.
Yeah, I'm just saying it might.
No, I'm not having that, bro. No. It's like if I said 3rd or something, then I'd understand where you come from. Not like 6th. No. 6th is never too high.
Okay, all right. So you finished 8th behind Wolves, Tottenham, and Leicester. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you to finish 6th, that means you've got to jump 2 places. So what 2 teams do you displace?
I can't answer that.
TikTok.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
So you can't answer that, but yeah, I'm taking the mick by saying that maybe it's too high.
I'm saying we could probably finish 5th or 6th. Whether or not that happens is another thing. That's just my prediction. But I can't say who we're going to take, whose place we're going to take.
Yeah, I hear your prediction, but you understand what I'm saying, John and Pat. I said that maybe high because they're the teams that you have to displace. So if you can't even say, I think that we are going to displace Wolves and Leicester, which would have been the easiest 2 to reel off your tongue. You can't even say that. But then you want to tell me that I'm taking the mick by saying
you're saying 6th is too high. Like Arsenal can't achieve 6th place.
I said it might be too high because you might not be able to displace Wolves and Leicester.
We're not talking about Arsenal here, bro. We're not talking about some like Sheffield United team.
But, bro, you finished in 8th position.
Yeah, I get that. But just remember, it's Arsenal we'll talk about. We never thought Man United would finish 3rd, but they did it. So you can't tell me 6th or 5th is too high for Arsenal, bro.
You know what?
But you ain't Man United though, B.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You didn't go on, Pat.
You know what? I'll say something, and this isn't a dig at you, Jason. It's a dig at all fans. Like we all say, oh yeah, we're Arsenal, we're Tottenham, we're this, we're that. At the end of the day, no one cares anymore. The football's got to do the talking. The Premier League ain't like before, where there was like 4 set teams, then you had the other 2, and then. These days, if you ain't on game, Wolves will finish above you. Sheffield United will finish above you. Exactly. Leicester will finish. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to get away from this. Oh, yeah, we're Arsenal. We're this, we're that. No one cares anymore, man. The Premier League is full of quality. At the end of the day, if you don't turn up and you don't do the business, you'll get beaten, innit?
I'll tell you something, Jace, though. So, I do believe your next 2 windows are very, very important because your team needs surgery. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade. You know that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, your team needs a lot of surgery. So it's like just going through like footballing things like and like how football works nowadays. It will take you a season or 2 to, I believe, to get back to that level where this Arsenal team should be, or Arsenal as a football club should be. Do you see what I'm saying? So. You know, it's going to be a journey for you guys, and it'll be a long one. But don't. It's not the end of the world. Trust me. as a Liverpool fan. Like,
I mean,
I know.
look who you lot was 4 seasons ago.
Yeah,
You know
that's a fact. Yeah,
You know,
it's a fact.
you lot went barking up trees back then, but obviously you got a manager and you got the team that you wanted. Look who you are now. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be patient with Arteta. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Arsenal fans have to be, and I think that's one thing maybe that maybe in the past you might haven't been on. That sounds weird because you've had Arsene Wenger for 20 odd years, whatever. But I'm just saying that with like Emery, I think you kind of lost patience with him. I get he weren't playing great football, and this is that and the third. But I think especially with a young manager, if you see what Chelsea are doing with Frank and other young managers out there, you have to give them time. Otherwise, it just isn't going to work.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
And Oli as well is under that category as well. You just have to give them time. So
yeah, and I will add that I do actually like what I'm seeing from Arteta. I do actually like what I'm seeing.
It's got an idea. Like, do you know what I mean?
You can definitely see you're more organised, and you know you can. I think that all is definitely not the end of the world. I'm just saying that obviously none of us know what's going to happen next season, but you could well finish outside the top 6 again. It is possible.
You know what I'm saying?
And especially when we talk about the Wolves team that just keep being there now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
2 seasons in a row.
This is what I'm saying. It's not like they just come there and they keep being there now. They're resilient.
Yeah.
So, and the Leicester, you still have to say they have Brendan Rodgers, and I know we'll discuss them as well, but it's not going to be easy. Like what Pat said, this is the Premier League now. No one's got a given right to be anywhere. You got to earn your coin. So
yeah, that's my point now, because I keep hearing it, and especially like I know you're not that kind of guy, Jay, but on AFTV, we're Arsenal, we're this. It don't matter anymore, man. Like times have changed, didn't it? No one's got a God-given right.
But when I say we're Arsenal, I don't mean as in we have a right to finish there. I'm saying it's a massive club.
You're in terms of objective.
That's what I mean. So it's not like you're talking about United or whatever. They could easily fall off. Like Arsenal, it is achievable for Arsenal to finish 6th next season.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant by it.
Right.
Cool,
you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right. So ladies and gents, if you are still watching, that means you're enjoying. So please give us a like. And again, send to one person that you haven't done before on your WhatsApp or whatever. And also leave a comment. Let us know what you believe is going to happen with Arsenal next season, where they need to strengthen, if there's any Arsenal fans watching. Let's move on to the white side of North London, if I'm allowed to say that. But, you know, talk to us, Pat. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling about your season? What are you saying? What are you saying?
I've got mixed emotions. I mean, obviously, you know, we finished outside the top 4. Spurs' main objective every year is to at least finish in the top 4 and ideally, hopefully try and get some silverware. So we finished 6th. Considering where we were, 6 is okay. You know, it's not great, but at least we finish in the top 6. As I was saying on Twitter, top 6 clubs don't finish outside of the top 6, even in a bad season. So,
that might come back to bite you, bro.
Top 6 clubs don't finish outside of the top 6. So even if you're having a bad season,
this,
still
that's going to be the title for this show. Yeah, that is going to be the title.
Clip that.
That's it.
Checking VAR. VAR agrees with me as well. So in that respect, yeah, we kind of salvaged something. We're in the Europa League, regardless of what happens in Chelsea and Arsenal finals. Of course, we could have been better, way better. But considering obviously the manager coming in mid-season, Jose's come in. Yes, he doesn't play the most attractive brand of football, but the last 8-9 games, we're seeing some sort of identity there, and we're seeing he's picking up results now. So Kane finished strong. He's looking good. Lo Celso starting. You're starting to see what he can bring to the team. So Son has had an amazing season. So there are some positive signs there. Obviously, we need to build off this and make sure we step up a level next year. Because next year, I know it'll probably be your next question, Sam. Next year, top 4 and a trophy is the aim for Tottenham. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. So that was going to be my question as well.
Yeah.
So top 4 and a trophy.
Yeah.
A question I want to hit to you, Pat, because one of the talks from Spurs fans have been, and even yourself, you said you're tired of being that team that's played good football and being a nearly club, not winning. You got to the Champions League final, you didn't win it. You've been to other finals, you've not been. You've been to countless semi-finals.
Yeah.
you can't win the trophy.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's
Yes.
Tottenham through and
So we put a big spotlight on this trophy, getting this trophy. So next season, Jose finishes outside of the top 4, but wins you a trophy. Is that a successful season for you?
Depends where we finish outside the top 4. And it also depends on the trophy. If we finish outside the top 4 and we get Europa, that's a success for me because it's a major European trophy and it will get us into the Champions League.
You into the Champions League.
Yeah, but if we finish outside the top 4 and we get Carabao Cup, it's silverware, but where does that lead you the next year? Do you get what I mean? Because, you know, I think if you're finishing outside the top 4 again, you're going to get the big boys knocking on the door saying, you know what, boss, I need to play Champions League. So it depends what trophy, if I'm being honest. I know we need a trophy, but a trophy shouldn't come at a detriment of the club going forward. Do you get what I mean? So trophies are important, but you don't just win a trophy and become a Wigan and just fade into obscurity. So there has to be building blocks. So yeah, ideally you want to finish in the top 4. If we don't, then definitely we go for the Europa League. The one thing I'm excited about in that sense is that Jose will try and win that Europa League. But with POTY, also he kind of mugged it off. He's like, I'm not really bothered. And he put out weakened teams in big games, which always pissed me off if I'm being real. So yeah. So there's something to build off. There is definitely some positivity considering it hasn't been the greatest of seasons. And it's just now, where do we go from here? You know, who do we bring in? We definitely need 2 new fullbacks, in my opinion. Ben Davies is an average footballer at best. He's not good enough on the ball. Sissoko, as much as I love him and he's a workhorse, and you know, we all banter like he's the GOAT and all of that because of where he came from in regards to not playing at the beginning to now starting. But he's not good enough on the ball, man. His touch is so loose. He's not good enough. And also we need another striker, man. We need a second striker. So I'm hearing that we're looking at Callum Wilson. Obviously, Bournemouth got relegated. They might want to do a little deal on that. That would be a good signing. He knows the Prem, can pop up with about 10 goals a season. You know what I mean? That would be decent, something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Are you not worried about his injury record?
That's a good point. But I don't think he'd play as many minutes though, would he? So hopefully that wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that is a good point though. His injury record's not. I'm just saying,
because it's like you don't want having like a second striker that's not available.
Exactly. That's it. No, that makes sense. I didn't really think of it like that.
Because if Kane goes out and he's out, you're
then exactly. You're back to square one. Definitely. So no, that's a good shout. But yeah, no, I think, but the point, obviously he's English, and the fact that he knows the Prem through and through, that gives you don't have to really worry about the bedding in bit really. And you know, and you should hopefully get him for a decent price considering Bournemouth are now relegated. I don't think he's going to want to play championship football when he was someone that was touted by a lot of big teams the year before last. So yeah.
Is Vertonghen gone now, Pat?
Yeah, Vertonghen's gone, man. It's a bit of a shame that. Yeah, well, it's not official yet, but he hasn't signed a new contract. There's no extension, and his contract is actually over. It was over 30th of June or whatever the actual date is. But we extended it because of the lockdown and blah blah blah. And yeah, he's unfortunately not been able to get on the pitch in the last 2 games, I believe. So no, he played the last game, I think. He didn't get a send off today. I know there was no fans, but it would have been nice to see him play. But because it was a 1-1 draw, we was kind of like there wasn't really a time to bring him on. There was no time for sending him today. So that's a big shame because yeah, he's been amazing, man. One of my favorite players in the Spurs shirt over the last 10 years or so. So yeah, super Yan.
Yeah, I think Jose needs to get you lot top 4 next year, and a lot of the talk is funny because it's only been about trophies. We brought in a proven winner to win trophies X, Y, and Z. I think top 4 is the objective for you lot next year, and especially and we was talking about some Spurs fans saying they didn't want to finish in the Europa spot.
I know. I was just saying it's a cop out. Exactly.
100% cop out. 100%.
And you know, I mean, once I knew I couldn't finish in the top 4, he had to be in Europa. There's no way a team like Tottenham can't be in Europe. And we don't want to be finishing 7th, 8th, 9th. That's a cop-out for a bad season. I mean, even as bad as a season is, you salvage it, innit? You have some fight. You don't want to just be falling down the table. I don't want to hear that. So any Spurs fan, I've had arguments about it as well with my Spurs boys. Like, nah, man, you finish as high as you can, and then obviously you build off that. You can't be building off finishing 10th, 11th, or 12th. when the players just clearly didn't want to play anymore. Like, what kind of character does that show? Do you get what I mean? So,
well, I tell you why it's nonsense, because you're talking about building, like you say, character, building a mentality around the club. You've brought in a proven winner. How do you then start that by not even being in Europe and finishing the season on a downward spiral?
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? Now you finished it in 6th position. You're in Europe. And you've legit got a competition that you could win. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you win that, the confidence that then gives everybody, because then you and all the other Spurs fans and the Spurs team then start to think, rah, we brought Jose in to win us and get us back up here. We win the Europa in our first full season, and the confidence that then gives you to then start to build, because then you're in the Champions League the following year. Jose can attract better players. You then start to build. I don't see how any good can really come of not being in the Europa.
Nah, man, it's short-sighted, and it's a bit silly, isn't it? They're not really thinking long-term, and they're not thinking about the bigger picture. The top clubs don't want to not be in Europe. I'm sorry, I don't. You know, yes, Chelsea might have finished 10th and won the league the next year, but if you would have asked them, they would have wanted to be in Europe as well. No doubt about that.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, man. I totally agree with that. Spurs fans that are watching, do you agree with Pat? Let us know in the comments below. So now I thought I'd leave the best till last. You know what? I'm just happy, man. Like, today is a day where, you know, throughout the whole season, again, I can think about different podcasts where people have laughed, where people didn't want to listen to me when I talked about we've got Mason Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford. You know, people said Ollie will be sacked by Christmas. People have said we've got the worst squad in the top 6. You know, we've got some friends that talk about negativity and everything like that. But then when we beat Chelsea 4-0 on the first day of the season, in the group chat, all I heard was negativity towards my team about how we ain't going to do nothing this season. And then on the last day of the season, we're finishing 3rd, and we're unbeaten since January the 22nd. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, rah, we finished 3rd. Ollie done it. Ollie got us into 3rd. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not been a perfect season for us, but we salvaged something. We were down in the dumps as well. Let's not forget that. I was down in the dumps. I couldn't see us. I was thinking we were going to finish where Arsenal finished this season. That's what I truly believed. I looked at the January 20 fixtures after Christmas and I thought, whoa, how do we get through these games? You see that we've now had all of the lesser teams after lockdown, because we played all the big teams before, congested back to back, and we've got 6 points off City this season, 6 points off Chelsea this season, 4 points off Spurs. We got a point off Liverpool, and it could actually have been 4 points. And it's only Arsenal that's done the number on us, that we only got 1 point off Arsenal. But, you know, and we got 6 points off Leicester this season. Do you know what I'm saying? Two points off Wolves in games that we should have won.
Yeah.
It's the lesser teams that caused us the problems. Now, again, it's not been a great season. There's holes in us. It's not saying we're covering over the cracks. We're Man United, and this is why today was so important for us. As I said, Chelsea had already made their signings, Werner and Ziyech. We need to make our signings, and I think top 4 was a big thing for us.
That's 100%.
Now we've got there, we can now start to rebuild, because outside of our 11, we're done. This is why we're playing the same team, even though they're tired every single week, because on our bench...
Jay Ling's got a goal today, though.
Jay Ling's got a goal, man. And you know what? Like, I've just got no room for being negative today. Like, I can be objective, and I know that it's not been a great season, and I can see where we need to strengthen or why we need to strengthen. But we done what nobody thought we would, and Jay Lings has been down in the dumps as well. He comes on and he gets us a goal that just basically seals it all. But there's a lot of United fans that are just still cussing him on Twitter today. I'm just thinking, you lot are just being negative for the sake of being negative.
Today's a good day, man. It shouldn't be none of that.
It should be none of that, man. You know what I'm saying?
It was a massive game, basically a Champions League
100 million pound game. It was a 100 million pound game.
That game, you couldn't have written a better script. Do you know what I mean? Man United and Leicester both going into that game. Whoever wins it seals at least third or fourth place. It was a brilliant end of season banger. And obviously, you guys did. Credit to Man United, man. They did what they needed to do.
We've limped over the line. We didn't play great again today. We ain't played great in the last few games.
Does that worry you at all, Sam?
It worries me from the position that I know that our squad needs to improve.
Right.
So at the moment, Ollie can't make any real changes from the bench that are going to change the game because we haven't got that quality on the bench to change the game. Because when you need to change the game, defensive change isn't really going to sort that out. We need to bring on creative players, and we haven't got that on the bench. Mata's finished. Lingard's not there. Pereira's not even getting in the starting lineup.
You think Mata's finished?
Definitely. His legs are gone.
I'm not saying I disagree, but I saw on Twitter the other day people saying Matic is back and whatnot.
No, sorry, Mata.
Oh, Mata. Oh, sorry.
Mata.
Not Matic. Not Matic.
Mata. Yeah. So from that, I'm worried. But now I'm saying this is now where we need to go and strengthen. And Gary Neville said it a few weeks ago, man. He said, this is now when we need to go hard.
That's what I'm afraid of, because Man United have the resources. They're a big, huge brand, and they've got the money. And that's scary because they've now got the impetus to be like, I want that player. Why? Because we're in the Champions League. There's this, there's that, there's this. Why not? Why would you not come to Man United?
What I would say is, in the past, we've bought a lot of high value players that cost a lot of money that haven't cut it. So one thing that does give me more hope now is I can see light at the end of the tunnel is there seems to be more of a plan in the way that we're making our signings and the type of player that we're bringing in. I had a conversation with a Chelsea fan today who was saying that he reckons Frank Lampard should get manager of the season. And then he was saying because that he's brought in all of these kids and got them top four. And then I was like, no. But no, fair play to him. We had a conversation and he said, you know what, you're right. Because what I was saying to him is that Frank's done very well, but it's the experienced players that actually have got Chelsea over the line. Your Giroud's, your Willians. You got Kovacic in the midfield, who's been brilliant. Barkley, who's not the oldest, but Barkley, Kante has been there this season.
They've got players. Aspilicueta's been around for 20 years.
They've got players. They're experienced players. But Man United actually have the average youngest in the league.
The first, it's like what is it?
We're number one for the youngest.
And then Chelsea is 25.8, and they're the second. So
how much are we, John?
You're 25.2.
Is it age?
Yeah. So you're the first. Like you've got the youngest squad in the league. Then it's Chelsea with 25.8.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And that can only do us well, man. When we're talking about longevity. So if we now can go back into the market, maybe pick one or two experienced players, but continue with our ethos of bringing in younger players that are on the way up. Then
they're saying that Sancho is your primary target. And if you don't get him, you're looking at Kingsley Coman.
Yeah, no, Sancho's coming. Sancho's coming. There's no backup business needed. We're getting Sancho.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not disputing it, but I'm saying that's what they're saying, isn't it?
What about Sancho?
You know what? We need a striker, man. We do, because again, Igalo's done well.
He's going right, isn't it?
Yeah.
In January he's going.
But he's done well for his time that he's come in, and he's helped us through a transition. But we need another player again to come in and just help us change a game. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm all for bringing in a striker.
What about your goalkeeper?
What
about your goalkeeper?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, for me personally, I've said it, man. De Gea for me is finished now. Now the only thing is can he regain form again? Is it possible? I personally think that he needs competition. Henderson has already said that he's not looking to come back unless he's number one.
Oh,
You
is
know
that
what I
what he
mean?
said?
Unless he's
Okay.
looking to be
I
number
think
one,
that's fair.
he's really not about this coming in second life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
that
know,
makes
it
sense.
does
He's
make
too good to
sense.
be saying that.
And
Yeah.
he's played. I think is he not Sheffield United's like player of the season? Like he's like
Yeah.
he's been sick, so he's not gonna wanna like
come back and be a
Is it 2 years at Sheffield United he's been there, or just
Yeah,
one?
he's been there 2 years.
2 years,
Like
like, and he's
first
put a
league
lot
in
of
the first year in the Premier League.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
just think he's put so much work into that. I think, and he wants to know if he's going to go back to Man United, am I going to be playing week in week out? Because he's been playing for 2 years straight. He's not going to stop.
Yeah.
For you know what I mean? So, and you've
That's
still got
it.
a good keeper in De Gea. Like I think, despite the obvious issues, and I do agree with you, there was a lack of competition there, and he somewhat got comfortable, but he's not a bad keeper. Like let's not, I think finish might be a bit strong, but.
He even made a mistake today, a fumble
joking?
Oh, is
today,
it?
like a
Did he?
really
Oh, wow.
easy thing that he should have caught. He fumbles it, and Vardy nearly scores.
Oh, is it?
He
Wow.
saves it. And then you'll have to see it on Match of the Day when
Yeah,
they
I
show
can see
it.
that.
But it's like that. You just don't expect that from your number one goalkeeper, or that's meant to be his caliber. So this is, and it's been 2 years now. This isn't just been this season. It was like this last season as well. So that's why I'm concerned. It's not just happened. This is a consistent thing that we're seeing now. So that's why I'm saying, can he get his form back? Over the last 2 seasons, it will suggest that he can't. But we'll have to wait and see. So personally, I would say it would be good to bring in another keeper. I think the areas that we should really focus on is that right wing position, getting Sancho in. I'd like also to have a more established, better DM, because Matic has been decent, but he's still too slow for me. And I think that McTominay,
he's young. No.
What is McTominay in your eyes, Sam?
Oh yeah,
What
that's a
position
good
does he
question
play?
actually. Yeah. Is he box to box? Is he a CM? Like,
yeah. What would you say he is?
see, that's a difficult question because he's not box to box. He's probably just a CM.
Okay.
He's more like a recycler of the ball, more so than a.
But that's it. Yeah, that's all. He's a get the ball and give it. Get the ball and give it. Get the ball and give it.
Basically, a Harry Winks. Basically, if that's the case.
Basically, with a bit more presence and a bit more about him. But it's not when we're playing in a midfield three with Bruno, Pogba, and say a Scott McTominay. That's not enough, because that doesn't work. You need a little bit more than that. You need that defensive screen in front of the back, and someone who's actually going to be able to control the tempo of a football game. And that's what he's not able to do. Our levels drop when he's on the field. I thought Fred can do it. Ollie's made it clear that he's not feeling Fred. Fred can't get a game anymore, which I think is out of order, considering he was consistently our best player for a good period of time.
Yeah.
But if I do think we need a better screen in front of the midfield, in front of the defense, because even in the first half today, Matic was got caught out of position loads of times, and I think a DM will be good.
How many players are you hoping to get in the next couple of windows? Like,
next.
Because in terms of the places that you want to fit, there's quite a few places that you mentioned, and I know you're not going to get all them in one window, right? So how many players in total do you think you need?
I reckon over the next, if we're talking about, I don't think much will happen in the January window. So I think we need to look to 2 summer windows. If we was to look to 2 summer windows, then we probably do get a new central midfielder to replace Matic, and maybe another backup striker. We get the winger as well in Jadon Sancho
coming back as well.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen.
He's not coming back.
Who's not coming back? Sanchez.
Okay.
Sanchez,
sure?
Yeah. I reckon we'll find a way. They're talking about trying to find a way to do a deal with Inter.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's on big wages, isn't it? And,
yeah, something needs to happen. He doesn't come back and fit into this team. No way. He doesn't come back in and fit into this team. So yeah, man. I think it's looking good for United, though. We definitely need to. Another creative player would be good as well. Whether that will be someone like a Grealish, again, someone to bring off the bench. because at the moment, as I said, we're struggling. We haven't got anybody that we can't take Bruno off and replace him with another creative player. We can't take Pogba off, replace him with another creative player. One thing I would say though is one thing that Ollie needs to do is find a way to start playing Pogba further forward, because Pogba's talents is getting lost in this system at the moment, because he's not allowed to get, like in the Spurs game where he came on and he was able to affect the game playing in the final third. At the moment, he doesn't play in the final third. Not enough. Bruno's doing that. Say that again.
That will affect Bruno's game though, because that's his game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but he's not doing that well enough. Is my honest.
Bruno?
Not at the moment. Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Bruno's dipped in the last couple of games, but he's tired, isn't it? He's tired.
Yeah, he's played a lot of games, and he just came in January. Like,
Bruno's performance has dipped, but you got to be fair. Like, he's played non-stop every single game.
Of course, that's ultimately why our performances as a whole have dipped, is because of being tired. But what the point I'm making is in the final third, people don't sleep on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba can do bits in that final third. And there's been a couple games from even deep, he's still creating more chances. So we need to find a system where we get him playing, because at the moment, I don't think it's working, him playing in this double pivot with a Matic. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how we find how the system works with that, how we get that happening, but I think that we need to get Pogba playing further forward, get him more actively involved in the final third. And the thing is there is certain games, and this might be where I'm saying that we need a more trusted DM that can give him a license just to play a little bit further forward. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're playing at home to Aston Villa or at home to certain teams, you don't need two defensive screens in front. You know what I'm saying? You can play a little bit more, and then that should give him a little bit more license. So, yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, Man United just need to make a couple more signings now, and we can then kick on for next season. And I reckon I don't think I think we'll probably finish in around the same position as we are now, third or fourth next season, with a trophy as well. I think I actually think we'll add. Actually think we'll win the Europa this season. To be honest with you, I think we will.
Who's left in it?
You, Wolves,
Inter Milan are there. Inter Milan there.
Yeah.
I think Roma are there as well. I think
there's still some good teams in it.
Yeah, all those teams are beatable.
Wolves are probably going to be our biggest challenge.
Yeah, I'd say so as well.
Wolves are going to be our biggest challenge. But yeah, man, let us know, people that are listening, what you think about Man United's season. Let us know in the comments where you think that we will get next season, where you think we will need to strengthen. If we was to move on quickly to Chelsea, where do you think how do you think they've done then, Jason, with Frank Lampard at the helm, no Hazard?
I think they've done pretty well. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he was gonna struggle. I thought Lampard was gonna struggle with that team, but he got them playing the moment he came in. I mean, I know they lost 4-0 to you guys on the first day of the season, but after that, he did get them playing. They were picking up results. And during the season, halfway through, they're kind of in between winning and losing. But to get them top four with the squad that he has, plus they were on the ban as well, I think he's done really well. I think I can't say they've had a poor season. Obviously they ain't done as good as they've done in the past. But with the squad that they've got, the young players they've got not coming through, but the young players they've used, like the Mason Mounts and whatnot. Yeah, they've done well, man.
To finish there.
Yeah, 100%.
John, what are you saying about Chelsea this season?
Yeah, I agree with Jace there, man. I think Frank's somewhat overachieved. He's definitely got he's got one of the youngest squads in the league. They were sitting in third for a long time, or top four anyway, for most of the season. And it's Frank's first big job. He's managed to deal with kind of, the elder statesmen in the team, like the Willians and the other people in that team. And he's got them playing to a level that I don't feel that they were playing the previous. Yeah, man. I just think overall, like he's done a really, really good job. One thing I will say about Frank, and defensively, his teams are suspect. He had the issue he has with Chelsea now, where they're defensively suspect. He had the same issue at Derby as well. So like he's very good attacking manager. You know, his teams always score goals, but defensively he kind of doesn't. I don't know if he's kind of worked that part out. So next season will be very, very interesting, especially with some of the big signings that they've got coming in and seeing how they perform, because the back, like defensively, they kind of have to work.
They do need to
if they want to
get players in defense there, because like you got the Aspilicueta, he's like above 30 now. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
They ain't really got a proper left back. Yeah, they're questioning Rudiger as well. He makes the odd mistake here and there.
And Zuma,
yeah. So, their back four does need surgery.
You know what? Chelsea conceded 54 goals, which is the most in the top 10. That is quite worrying, man. You know.
So, when Liverpool were challenging for the league in 13-14, we scored over 100 goals, but we conceded 50 goals. The league, because we couldn't keep the ball out of the net. If Chelsea fans, I'm sure they're really excited, but they have to be worried about that back line, because defensively they're not set up right, because they concede, and a lot of the time it's not from mistakes. You know, it's from them getting cut open, or all the players being moved out of position. So he's still a young manager, so I think in time he will learn that, because this is his second job in football. So I think for the achievement in itself, he's done amazing, but I think he's definitely got some things to work on, and he's got a young, exciting team as well. So
you know what, and that's something, just quickly touching back, because I said that I think Man United conceded something like 50 odd goals last season as well, and that was our problem. And I said that I thought that we would do well this season because we had enough players to score goals, and that we would then keep more clean sheets with bringing in Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And Man United conceded 36 goals this season. And just to put that into context, Liverpool conceded 33, Man City conceded 35. So it does just go to show that if you can sort the defense and bring in a couple players, it can. So if Frank can do that in the summer, bring in one or two defensive players and get that all working.
They need a better keeper as well. Kepa Aspilicueta, whatever you call him.
Call him Kepa.
Yeah, Kepa. He's not a great goalkeeper, man. He's not a great goalkeeper.
He didn't play today. He got dropped today.
Yeah, he got dropped.
Oh wow!
Willie Caballero. Yeah,
well,
I had that game.
Isn't that Willie's last game though? It's his last. Isn't he? I'm sure it's his last season as well at Chelsea.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Somebody confirm in the comments, isn't it? I'm not even sure. But I'm sure
I just think Kepa got dropped. He had a very shaky game the other day, didn't he, against you guys? Yeah. Getting a lot of goals.
He has a problem with long shots for some reason. Long shots. A lot of goals he concedes. It's like, why are you not saying that? Like,
long shot, and he's very shaky on crosses as well. He doesn't command his area well at all. So they need a keeper as well.
I don't understand. Like,
well, it's a bit mad, yeah.
Well, Spain got him and De Gea, boy. They're screwing. But the thing is Man United conceded 36 goals with De Gea in goal, also dropping clangers on a regular.
Well, De Gea now has got the most clean sheets in Premier League history for you guys, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, because he get one today. More than Peter Schmeichel. Yeah,
one more than Peter Schmeichel.
Wow.
I think he's got like 140, 115, whatever it is. It's one more than Schmeichel. I saw it pop up on my bleacher.
That's one thing. I didn't give enough credit to Ollie when I was talking about Man United. I'll quickly just jump in there and then jump back out. Just purely because I was on Ollie's back for a large part of this season.
Everyone was, boy.
And I think he deserves a lot of credit, and especially for, as I said, the defensive side of our game, because, as I said, conceding 36 goals, man, that's really good. And I think he deserves a lot of credit. And it's not just the back line, it's as a team, defensively, our shape has been a lot better. And man, we've been keeping clean sheets. So big up to Ollie for that. But yeah, Chelsea, I think Frank, if he can sort the defensive side out, then Chelsea can be a problem next season with Werner and Ziyech and the players that they already have. Giroud is looking like he can still do bits in the Premier League. They're going to lose Willian, it seems, isn't it, to possibly Arsenal. I'm hearing there's links there. But they've got, you got your Mason Mounts there. You got your Ross Barkleys,
James,
Kovacic, Pulisic.
Yeah,
who's that Billy kid as well in midfield? The Billy
Gilmore.
Him. He's a baller.
He's a baller.
Hudson-Odoi coming in.
Oh my God, Hudson-Odoi hasn't even. Oh my! I think that's a player there, boy.
Yeah, so it just
that's a player there.
Yeah, they got a lot of midfielders, man. A lot of midfielders.
Yeah,
and Kovacic. I forgot about Kovacic, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's been balling out of control recently. Like,
I think Jorginho will go though. They can't.
Really?
I don't think. Yeah. Well, I mean, because when Kante's back, Jorginho ain't gonna get in that team because it will be Kante, Kovacic, and somebody else. Yeah. And Jorginho costs 50, 60 M's. He ain't gonna just sit there. You know what I mean? He's a good player, but he just doesn't seem to fit in their system.
Yeah,
so,
he was on the bench the other day. So yeah, I think he probably will. They're gonna have to let some of them go.
Too
many.
Because don't forget they've got what's the English baller? I can't remember his name now. The tall guy. I can't. Oh man.
Loftus-Cheek.
Nah, that's it. They got Loftus-Cheek as well. So
yeah,
so they got so many CMs, ACMs, whatever you want to call it, wingers, number 10s. They got so many. So a few have got to go, man.
A few has to go, 100%.
Yeah, it's too much. But yeah, now Chelsea look good. It's funny because I mean on the other podcast a couple of weeks ago, everyone said the top four is already set for next year. But I think personally, out of all of them, I think Chelsea are the ones that will drop out.
You reckon?
I just don't see. I just think there's too many players coming in. It's going to take a long time for them all to settle and bed in. And like you guys know, the defense isn't great. Keeper's not great.
But they can still address the defensive situation.
But it's a lot to do in one window, man. And then even if you do get all these players in, it takes time for them to gel and everything else. I don't know. I just think, just looking at it, I just think that Chelsea will probably be the ones that, as much as everyone thinks they're going to be a problem, I don't really see them being a problem next year.
Interesting.
Okay.
Where do you think, people, leave a note in the comments where you think Chelsea will finish next season? How do you rate their season? How do you rate Frank has done? We'll quickly just touch on Man City and Leicester. So, yeah, just quickly, where do you think Man City went wrong, man? Man City scored 102 goals this season and conceded 35. So I've talked and said at the beginning that them not replacing Company will come back to bite them. I think that was a bit of an issue, but I don't think it was really. I just think that they wasn't as efficient as Liverpool, man. Like in them games where you need to be resilient, they weren't. They dropped. They lost 9 games. Do you know what I mean?
That's a lot of games for Man City.
Liverpool lost 3, but Liverpool lost most of them when the title was already done. So, but Man City lost 9 games. So that's where they lost it. Yeah, Norwich early doors, us Wolves, twice.
Yeah,
Wolves, we beat them as well.
Spurs beat them.
Arsenal beat them.
So, Southampton beat them the other day, didn't they?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. So crazy. Man, they lost a lot of games, man.
And Liverpool beat them as well. Liverpool beat them. So where do you think? What do you think? City. Where do you think City can go from here?
I'll be honest with you, Saint-Pierre. City have these players that they need. They've spent money on them. They bought in Cancelo. They bought in the other centre back. They bought in the other left back. They bought in all these players, and for whatever reason, I don't get why it hasn't. I can't even explain to you. I'm not a City fan. I don't watch them week in, week out, so I can't really explain to you why it's kind of gone wrong for them. I do feel as if, though, one thing I must say is that I think this year, what we've seen, to beat City, you just have to play football against them. Just play football against. If you try and attempt to play football against them, that's the only way. You cannot sit back against City, because what they'll do is cut you open. So in order to try and win that game, you have to try. If you watch the games that they lost, I believe, even Southampton, they balled out against City, balled out against them. So I think that's kind of probably where they've kind of gone wrong, and I'm not really too sure what, like, Pep will just he's going to spend more money. Like, how do you fix a defensive problem, or how do you fix not losing games? Like 9 games is a lot of games. Like I'm sure there's other teams that haven't lost that many games in the league. If someone could check for me,
Man United lost 8 games, to be honest.
And they've had a bad, a not so great season.
Yeah, to be honest, everybody else lost more. Chelsea 12, Leicester City 12, Tottenham 11, Wolves 9, Arsenal 10, Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But this is City though, man. 9 games is a lot. You know, that's a lot.
It doesn't even sound right.
Where do you think they can go from here?
So it's a tricky one because, like JB said, they've actually potentially got all the players. They've got Garcia there. They've got Foden there. Defensively, I think they probably need a quality centre back. Like you're talking your world class centre backs to come in because Laporte is definitely starting. And then when you look at who he starts with, the other centre back isn't really. You're not sure. Sometimes it's Fernandinho. John Stones has come and not really look good. Otamendi is garbage. So I think they need a centre back. Other than that, I think they're set, to be fair. And maybe, depending on what's going on with Aguero, if he's going to come back and, because he seems to be getting injured a lot more these days. So maybe they need another striker because, Jesus has done well, to be honest, since he's come in. When he gets a run of games.
They do, Pat. 100 goals.
Yeah.
100, think about that. 100 goals. It's crazy.
To be fair, they just need a centre-back. They just need a good centre-back.
And this is what I'm saying though, but when you look at it, 100 goals and only conceded 35, but then they finished how many points behind Liverpool? It's crazy. Like where is the management in these performances? Because those stats don't add up. Do you know what I'm saying?
When are we gonna start questioning Pep, guys? Like for real.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get onto Pep? Like seriously, like the amount of money that was spent on that team that he created, he made that team. He made that team. So it's like
his team now.
Are the players to blame? Well, as the stats show us, they've got a decent defensive record. They're outscoring everybody. So where are they really falling short, guys? Like, is it the players? Like, what player for Man City has played bad this season? Bar, your Otamendi's, and even him, he doesn't play every week. Like, where are Man City? Like, it's so hard to kind of like. Well, I can say one person. I think Pep's at fault.
Yeah, well, I think he's got. What do you think, Jason? Do you agree with JB there that Pep's got to take the flak for this one?
Yeah, buck lies with the manager, doesn't it? I mean, last season he got all the plaudits when they done the Centurion and whatnot, and won the league and whatnot. So obviously this season they haven't done that. So obviously, he's got to take the flak for that. He's the manager, innit?
Well, Sorry, Jay, just to go on, Jay, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I personally don't think Pep is the manager that he once was.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good
I don't think he's the manager. Like, for some reason, like, I don't fear Man City. I know they beat Arsenal in the league, like, quite comfortably, but like, I don't fear Man City in the league. I don't think they're going to just tear up the league like they used to. Like, I don't think Pep's that manager anymore. I think he's had his time. He's had his moment.
Yeah, I've got something to add there, but Pat, I'll let you speak first.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, when Arsenal did a number on them in the league, in the cup, like 2 weeks ago, and beat them 2-0, Pep come out and said the next day that he didn't take Arsenal seriously. I was thinking, what? Do you know what I mean? So that just goes to he actually come out and said it. He goes, we didn't really, we didn't really set up, we didn't take them as seriously. So they thought the game was done and dusted, and that just goes to show that Pep's not really. I don't know, man. It's like. Yeah, it's like he's lost the level of concentration in some of the games.
That's disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, I know. And they got beaten. They got beat up 2-0. I know they controlled the game and they controlled, but at the end of the day, Arsenal were clinical and they won. And and you could see it didn't set up to win that. They thought the game was already done.
But then you're banging up other teams 5-0, 4-0. And it just ridiculous. It just don't make. I mean, if they go win the Champions League, it'll be a good season for them. But other than that,
I think that's his saviour for this season. He's got to win that. I think.
What's the score with them and Real Madrid at half? I mean, it's half.
2-1. They're 2-1 up.
2-1 up.
And they're
that's
playing
tight, boy.
Is it the home leg they're playing as well? City, because they beat them 2-1.
I think they're 2-1 up away. I think they got their 2 away goals. I believe.
Wow.
Somebody in the comments correct us. I'm not 100%. I think so.
No, I think you're right. So
but as I said, when you look at those stats, for me, there's a mismanagement in certain games, and that then comes down to tactics. And as we hear him not taking Arsenal seriously in the cup, I think that then transpires to the league. But also, as JB said there before, I think maybe teams have now found out how to play against City. It's been a good few seasons now. Pep's not new anymore. So maybe these teams have now figured out a way. Like Ollie has clearly figured out a way. We beat them 3 times. We even beat them in the cup this season as well. So we found a way how we can play against them. And another thing that I wanted to add is when Man United was on top, we used to win football matches before we even entered the football field.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
When
you saw
now,
Roy Keane in the tunnel, when you saw Roy Keane in the
yeah.
tunnel,
Rip, bro. It's over.
That's
Yeah,
what used to happen
yeah.
with City. Soon, before the football match even start, the game was already won because the team are shook.
Yeah.
Now, you see them losing to Norwich and all of that, then teams obviously now have that confidence.
Yeah.
And this is the aura that Liverpool have around them now.
Yeah.
Is that before the game's even kicked, the games is won against most teams. They don't have that confidence. And I think that's maybe why, a little bit as well, why City have struggled this season in certain games, is because teams have confidence in that if they can get at this City team, they can get a result. And then you've seen it there, nine games lost. You know,
if you get a chance to get their back line running back towards their goal, you've got a chance, bro. Otamendi, Stones, even Mendy. Mendy is a £50 million left back. Like, let that marinate, bro. Like,
the amount of times I've seen Mendy caught up halfway up the pitch and people just ping a ball over him.
It's over for them. You know, and it's like you have to kind of question, like, I think it is the tactics, because it's like, that's not to say that Mendy's now shit. Like, he's not a shit player. He's a good player, but it's just like you have to question the tactics that are being used in these games. Like, you know, and I think Pep has a lot to answer for. I'm sorry to say this. He spent a lot of money, and I feel like in the media, no one really talks about Pep. Like, they don't. He gets all the plaudits. Oh, he's amazing. He's this. He's all of these things. But it's like this guy, I think, fundamentally has dropped the ball this year, 100%. And you know, and I also respect that you can't consistently play at a high level. I respect that. But losing 9 games, bro, like Southampton.
Yeah,
like,
with that team
Norwich.
as well. It's not even with that team. They should not be. Yeah, that team.
I think next season is Pep's make or break.
Yeah, I think so. I agree, and also the Champions League, as I said, I think that's a big thing for him as well. But he ain't won the Champions League since he was at Barca with Messi. Do you know what I mean? So this is, you know, we're gonna have to see what happens, boy. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. But let us know in the comments what you think for City and their season and where they're going and where they're heading. We can segue quickly into Leicester very quickly, man. You know, Pat didn't think that they would drop outside the top 4. And they have dropped outside the top 4.
I didn't believe that they would bottle the lead. Like they were comfortably in 3rd. I wish I would have
comfortably.
They're comfortably. I think they were 7 points ahead of 4th place, and I was like, no way, Sams. The fact that you guys have got to claw that out and they got to drop the points, I was like, nah, you ain't gonna make it. And they've just bottled it. They've bottled performance after performance after performance. And as much as we can say Leicester were a good team and they done well, you got to look at Brendan Rodgers again, man. He's bottled another comfortable position.
United were 14 points behind them.
That's what I'm saying.
After 25 games played.
14 points behind them.
It's like, I mean,
talk about dropping the ball.
Yeah, that's poor, man. I mean, and if you look at as well, they've got the Premier League's top scorer this year. So they've got good attributes and they've got good players. They should not have dropped out of the top 4.
No.
But how are we being harsh on Rodgers, considering like their team today didn't have Maddison, didn't have Chilwell, didn't have Ricardo? Are we then being, you know, Sonochu as well got the red card? Obviously, that's not. But, you know, he got the red.
He got sent off.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, you ain't seen it? When he kick up man in the goal.
No, I didn't even see it. He must have been
Was it against Bournemouth? It was against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
they scored.
Yeah, they scored. And I think Callum Wilson must have quickly pushed him.
Yeah, tried to get the ball. And Sanusi just give him a UFC kick.
I don't get what players are thinking when they do stuff like that. Come on, man.
Emotional.
The ref was right there. It didn't go to VAR. The ref was right there.
What are you doing?
Yeah, emotional.
Straight red card. He was off.
They have been missing a lot of first teamers. Can that play a part?
How many?
I could say
5
4
or 6.
5.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a massive. It's half the team.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Ricardo is an excellent right back. Chilwell left back.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, put it in context. Actually, Chilwell has missed today, and I can't.
He's played.
I think he may have been playing. He was playing against Spurs, wasn't he, Chilwell?
No, he wasn't.
No. So then maybe he's missed the last.
Chilwell's missed about 4 or 5 games.
Is it
Same as
that
Madison.
much?
Yeah. In recent, not the whole season. He's missed more than that. But in
Recent.
a recent,
Okay.
He's
I
missed
know
more than that.
Madison's been gone for the last,
For a minute.
since we've been
Yeah.
back from lockdown.
Yeah.
Ricardo's not been
It's
there.
half the team, so you can probably see why they've dropped.
But then
As many
saying that,
games
they've
they have.
actually got quality players. Like Harvey Barnes is pretty decent.
Yeah.
They've got good cover, man. They've got good players. They shouldn't have
Tielemans.
dropped like that. Tielemans is good. Obviously, Jamie Vardy's been banging in goals.
That Chowdhury's a good, and Ndidi's for
Ndidi is one of the
United
best
fans.
DMs.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of United fans want us to sign Ndidi. So
Ndidi has arguably been the best DM this year. Probably him, and I'll give it to him or Fabinho. In my opinion, those are the two best DMs right now in the league. So they've got quality, man. They shouldn't have dropped by that. No, and I think as well it goes back to Brendan Rodgers. He kept saying, no matter what happens, we're happy as long as we get into Europe. That was the objective.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been coming out saying that. Like, you can't tell the players that. You got to be on their arse saying, nah, we were in the top 4 spot most of the season. That's where we deserve to be.
As well,
comfortably. You got to get it. So the mentality hasn't been right from the top, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I think that plays a part. As I keep saying, for me, the manager is the conductor of the ship. And that message can sort of seep into the players, man. And the fact that he's just talking and saying, our objective was Europe and we've finished Europe, that to me is not, that doesn't cut it, man.
And then not only that, like when you think of how the other teams around them have performed as well, it's not like there weren't opportunities to elevate themselves. Does that make sense? So I think it's like, because it's not like they're not the only ones that have injuries. Granted, 4 or 5 players out is a lot, but at the same time, everyone else has been balling out of control at the same time. Does that make sense?
I hear.
So if you drop the ball, that's I think they've done there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So
cool. All right, people. Let us know in the comments what you think about this season. Are we being harsh on Brendan Rodgers, or does he have to take the flak for them finishing in 5th? Which, yes, on paper, that is still a good season for Leicester City. But, considering they were 3rd for all of the season, even 2nd at one point, that's not good in my opinion. But let us know in the comments. Jordan Henderson got Player of the Year. So I know you've got some... Football Writers Player of the Year. I know you've got some stats there and stuff for us, John, with regards to. Go on.
No. Let me just. I just want to make this clear, and I think we've already had a conversation. Sam, if you remember, when one of you, I think the first time I was on your podcast, I think we had a conversation about Henderson, and I made it clear. Like, I think anyone looking at Henderson will be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't really look like a baller," blah 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 blah, and. Like, I'm happy for the fact that, he's getting the accolades and stuff like that. Whether he deserves them is another thing. Like, because in my opinion, me as a Liverpool fan, the best player in the league has been De Bruyne or even Mane. They're players that could have easily been put in front of him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the Football Writers that's done by journos. And I know part of their kind of how they choose their players is kind of the work they've done inside and outside of football. So I know that has a part to play in why he was chosen. That's not to say I necessarily agree with their choice. So that's kind of my stance on it. It's not to say that it's a bad thing because I think he has done well this year. But to me, in my as a Liverpool fan, as a personal opinion, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's well enough to be Footballer of the Year. And that's my stance on it. So. That's what I wanted to say.
I hear that. I'll just say one thing. I will say that when Henderson isn't in the Liverpool team, you can see a difference. So I see the importance that Henderson has to the Liverpool football team, but I don't think that he's been playing at that level that he should have won that award over a De Bruyne or a Mane, for example. But that's all I want to say on it, really. I do respect what he does for Liverpool, and I respect the position he plays in that team. But going forward, I think that you could definitely upgrade on a Henderson. But then again, it depends on the system. You probably can still get the same level of success with a Henderson. But him as a footballer, I don't think is brilliant, if that makes sense.
That's not us slating Henderson. Like, I think
definitely not.
Like, I'm not trying to put him down, but I think you just have to have an eye for football. And obviously, it's not always all about stats. And because I think there's one stat that was flying about Henderson in the team we win 85% of the time. Henderson out of the team is 50%.
Mm.
But I think that stat is it can be misleading in many ways. You have to be very careful with the stats you use, guys. So, let's be sensible. And yeah, again, that's my take on Henderson anyway. So
what do you reckon, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, congrats to him winning it. I just don't like the way the football writers formulate their poll in terms of who they give it to and why. I think they should just give it to the best footballer. I know that, like, Rashford came third, I believe. Henderson was first. De Bruyne second. Rashford was third.
Rashford got third.
Yeah, Rashford was third. And again, that was because of
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah,
what's Rashford done to get third?
That's what. But it's all the stuff he did off the field during lockdown for the what is it? School children's lunches and stuff like that, which is amazing. But maybe they should just do I don't know, like almost like a Statesman of the Year award and give that to the best charitable person. Do you know what I mean? Like, do that. Like, when we're talking football, let's talk football. For me, Kevin De Bruyne, hands down, was the best performer in the Premier League. Like, there's no doubt he was the best player. And if you want to give it to the best team, because obviously it takes a lot to win the league, and for me, obviously, Mane was the best player for Liverpool, then give it to Mane. If it's De Bruyne or Mane, I don't mind at all. Whoever
even Sterling.
Sterling
got
20
30 goals in all comps, hasn't he? 20 Premier League goals.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he's bagged a few assists as well. But so I'd understand that. But to give it to Henderson, I'm just like, nah, man, you lot are taking the mick out of me. And like, when I watch football, not to be horrible, I don't tune into games to watch Henderson play. Do you get what I mean? And I don't really. Like I said, I understand the importance of him. I do appreciate him. He's a really good player in an excellent team. But he's not the footballer of the year. And I just, when you look back in 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, and you see Henderson's name, you're gonna be like, what? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I just think they got to change the way they do it, man. They really do.
Cool. So Jason, if it was to, what do you think about what Pat has said? And a question that I would ask you is, do we then reward attacking players and not reward defensive players? Because from that, and not to say that I don't agree with you, Pat, but from what you're saying is, when you said I don't tune in to watch Henderson play, that kind of takes away from what the defensive aspect of the game and what those...
I'll let Jay say his point, and I do 100% hear what you're saying, but one of my favourite players is Wan-Bissaka, as you know. Also, I love watching Virgil. So I do love a defensive player. Good at what they do. But just to say, it's not just about attackers, but again, I don't tune in to watch Henderson. I tune in to watch Bissaka or a Virgil. So just to put that in there as well.
What do you think then there, Jason? Do you think that he was worthy of it? Do you think that we should maybe look at other aspects of the game when we're looking at the player of the season, for example, not just goals and assists?
Well, to be fair, I personally think that I agree with Pat. I do believe Kevin De Bruyne should have won it for his displays throughout the whole season, because he's been consistent. Like, he's been Man City. I think Man City's best player. Like you said, I don't think Henderson was Liverpool's best player.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point there, Jason.
So I don't really...
Big up yourself, Jason.
I think even Henderson himself is probably shocked that he won it. He knows that. That's what I'm saying. He knows that. Fair play to him. Like, don't get me wrong. He's a quality player, but he wasn't Liverpool's best player.
Not by a long shot.
So
it's the storyline, isn't it? That's what it is. It's the storyline. It's the storyline. That's what it sounds good, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that was my point with the Ryan Giggs thing earlier. Like, he only played 15 games that year. He won Player of the Year, but the storyline was he's never won it before. If you remember it, he never won it before. How has he not won it before? He, don't get me wrong, he played well in those games, but
you know what it is.
Yeah, I know that was definitely a sympathy thing.
It's probably Liverpool's first captain to win the Premiership. Premiership, you know.
So,
like you said, storyline and all that.
Yeah,
it fits well. You know what
Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, because you make a good point regarding the Ryan Giggs thing. Everybody was saying that he shouldn't have won it that year either. So again, as you say, it just sounds good. Just very quickly, then John, who taking Mane, Salah, like in your midfield, who do you think has been your best midfielder? And also, I want to question is what do you think Keita can bring to the team?
Oh God! Oh wow! So I think our best midfielder, for me personally, again, has been Fabinho. Like, I just love watching that guy play. Like, not nothing gets past him, but you know what I mean? Like, nothing gets past the guy. He's not the quickest, but he reads the game so well. He always seems to be in like the right place at the right time. And it's those little things that you can't really be learned in football. You're just naturally good at. And that's so it's like, and Pat, you made a good point. Like, you're not wanting to watch Henderson play. You're not, but Fabinho, when you watch him play, you see what he does, and the effect it has on the team. Like, and again, I'm not taking away Hendo's effect on the team, because there have been games where we've missed his energy in midfield. Because, you know, sometimes we've all played football, you know, to some sort of level. But, you know, if the teammate got the, like, you know, sometimes you've got that one player that gives you the energy. Oh my gosh, my man's doing this, my man's doing that. Let me get involved. And sometimes you need the players like that, because it kind of infects everyone else. There's more to football than that. Like, does that make sense? But Keita, like, wow. I think for him, sky's the limit. He's got all the ability in the world. He just needs to just be more consistent with it. And I'm hoping, with the performances he's putting at the back end of the season, he can just carry that on.
Yeah, no, it looks good. How old is he, just out of curiosity?
24.
Okay, so still very young.
So he's still very young. Obviously, he's got a big price tag on his head. And I think there was a lot of kind of things behind the scenes as to why he wasn't necessarily being as impactful as he could have been, because I think there was a lot of fanfare before him coming over, and he was like, oh my gosh, this player, but he couldn't speak English for like the first year or so. Actually has a...
Where did you guys get him from, by the way? Where did you got him from again?
Leipzig.
RB Leipzig.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that kind of hindered his process. Obviously, he got injured early on as well, so naturally he has to like almost catch up to the level of where everyone else is at. You know, then he had a run of games, got injured, and then, do you know what I mean? So hopefully we can, you know, I think he's going to be going into his third year. So hopefully we can, if he can get like a consistent run of games, I think the sky is the limit for that boy, because
he looks really good.
There's a player there, everyone can see it. So I'm excited for him, because it just changes our dynamic from our midfield. Right now, it's quite a workman-like midfield. Someone has the ability to beat a man, find a pass, or shoot. You know, unless Ox is playing in the middle, we don't really have that from midfield. You know, but that's what Keita brings. So, you know, it's exciting times.
Brilliant there, John. Brilliant, man. Let us know in the comments if you're any Liverpool fans watching what do you think Keita can bring to the side next year? Because I know other Liverpool fans are quite excited about him. So, let us know in the comments. We'll quickly move on to just round up on David Silva. We won't bother talk about the Ballon d'Or. We'll just quickly talk about David Silva, man, his contribution to the Premier League over the last 10 years. Wow. And then we'll finish, man. I took some stats down earlier when they was talking about it on Sky. You know, 309 appearances for City, which is a club record. 60 Premier League goals, 93 Premier League assists is a club record, and 11 major trophies, including 4 Premier Leagues. So, man, he's been one of my favorite players to watch. And I say to watch, it's hard to watch your rivals with good players, you know, doing their thing all of the time. But you know what I mean? I'm a football man first. Yeah. And David Silva is a class. He's been a class act, man. And 10 years in the Premier League. What do you, man, think? Jason? They say from Jason, what you got to say, Jason?
Yeah, man, he's been a big impact in the Premier League. Very creative player. Won a lot of trophies at Man City. They're going to miss him, I believe. They're going to miss him. You know, I personally didn't think he'd be at Man City for as long as he has been. You know, but he's one of the longest serving players there now, where he was, should I say, up to this day.
It's the record, 309 appearances is their club record.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, man, he's going to be a miss in the Premiership. You know, miss watching him play, because he's a sort of player that Arsenal would have signed like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He's that sort of player.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
So he's going to be missed, man.
Yeah.
I know you had family problems with his son and whatnot as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I remember that.
They mentioned that documentary about his kid as well and all that.
Yeah, he was flying back and forth and stuff.
Flying back and forth. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Pat?
they say he's Man City's best ever Premier League performer. They say that hands down he's the best, Man City player they've had in the Premier League, and obviously it'd be hard to argue that when like you said, you see the stats and just watching him play. Amazing, classy. The funny thing is, when he first came in, there was question marks about his size and would he be able to handle the Premier League. It just goes to show when you can play, it doesn't really matter about the size. And it's like you couldn't. It's weird because as little and tiny as he is, when he was playing, you couldn't really get to him. Do you get what I mean? Like even though he's tiny, and you could, I don't really recall him ever getting pushed off the ball or this and that. And he's not the quickest, but his mind is. He's seeing things before they happen because. Yeah, there was times, I think when I was saying it to you, Sam, so I watched the Man City Spurs game when they came and they beat us, I think 5-0 or 5, whichever, at White Hart Lane. And Dzeko scored 4 goals. And oh my God, David Silva that day was just unbelievable. Like I said, no matter how little he is and how, he's not the quickest, but no one could get near him. And it's just, that's how magical he was. And even now, he still registered 10 assists this year. It's not like he's playing all the time, is it?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But it just goes to show how he sees the game and what he can do. So, yeah, he's going to be missed. I'm looking forward to seeing what Foden can do and if Foden can fill that gap. Because what I've seen of Foden, he looks really good. But it'll be interesting to see if he's trusted by Pep to play there or if Pep goes out and buys, I don't know, a 50, 60 million pound ready-made player. So that would be interesting to see what happens next.
What do you reckon, JB? Do you reckon that Foden can replace Silva next season? You think Pep will go with Foden? And what do you reckon about Silva's time?
For Silva's time, he's been amazing. He's like I was just going through his honours, and again, like no shade to Man City, but he's done bits for them, man. 4 Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups, hella League Cups, couple Charity Shields, won the World Cup. Remember with Spain. 1, 2, like the guy, he's got 2 Euros as well. The guy is an amazing player. And one thing that what I really liked about him, because there was a player that used to play football with, his name was Vince. Yeah, you can never get the ball off him, and the guy is shorter than me, but the ball just stuck to his foot, and you just have to appreciate. And the way he would dominate the midfield, but he's not the strongest or the quickest, but he was still able to control the game.
It's mad.
You have to rate that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a guy of his size to do what he's done in the game, I think anyone will turn around and say that he's an amazing player. And I think Jason's right. He's going to be missed because I think he's kind of he's like your archetypal number 10. Number 10. But he's managed to almost convert the way he plays football and kind of playing it in this Pep style, and he's still been as effective. So I have to give him ratings for that. But Phil Foden, I want to see more of him. Have to see more of him. English. There's a baller in there. He actually reminds me of an old Jack Wilshere. To me, he's what Wilshere would have been if the injuries didn't catch up to him. Personally, I think they have similar sort of styles, and I think he's going to be a big player. Hopefully, he can now get the game time. Because he's been on the fringes for a couple of seasons now. Getting to that age where he needs to be playing football regularly now. So with Silva leaving, hopefully this will be his chance. And
I think Pep's starting to trust him a bit more now.
Yeah, he's played a lot more recently. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, man.
We are going to see, boys. We are going to see next season, man, if Foden gets the chance to play. And as you said, Pat, whether Pep goes out and splashes on P and then brings in the next man to play there. But, just before we wrap up then, final thought on next season. Who is going to be Premier League champions next season? John, go on. A prediction. Give us a prediction.
do you know what? We'll do it again. If we want to be considered one of the Premier League greats, I think we're still despite all the number of trophies we've won, I still think in the Premier League era, I want us to kind of continue kind of what we've built. And again, it will be another test of Jurgen Klopp and see if he can either build a new team or carry on what he's built and see where we can go. And I'll throw it out there. Why not? What have I got to lose?
Of course. So
I think that we can win it again.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect you to say anything other than that, to be honest. You're now the champions, so you have every right to believe that you're going to do it again. What about yourself, Pat?
Yeah, Liverpool, and Tottenham will finish in the top 4 as well. So
Come on.
yeah, just put that in there as well.
Why, Seb? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, let me go over to Gia-san. Gia-san.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liverpool will do it again.
Right, you man all saying Liverpool.
Who else is? I don't think Man City's that team that it used to be.
Yeah. And where do you
Liverpool
think
are
Arsenal going to
comfortable.
finish one last time then, Jason?
I'm hoping 5th or 6th at least. Minimum, I want
5th then, you reckon, yeah?
5th or 6th. But yeah, I'll go for 5th.
5th. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man United, Sam, come on.
I reckon we'll finish 3rd next year. I reckon we'll build and it will be a better 3rd than where we've done this year. But I really worry about Chelsea, man. I really do. I know Pat reckons they'll drop outside the top 4. As I said, I think they just, bring in a defender or two. Just if they can sort out the defense, surely that will be on the agenda. And yeah, man, I think going forward they're going to be a bit of a problem. So yeah, I guess I'd have to say Liverpool, because last season I said City because City were the champions. So I'm going to say Liverpool again, but I think Chelsea may have something to say about that. I've got a feeling they're gonna run everybody close, man. I mean, run the champions close next year. So yeah, I'm gonna say Liverpool, but I think Chelsea could do it. Could get in there, and then Man United, and then Man City 4th, and then Pep. Because Pep's going to end up getting sacked next season, isn't it? That's what's going to happen. So? Yeah, he will end up leaving next season. That's what I'm going with. And I said it.
Spurs?
Yeah, we're finished
top
4th.
4.
You said top 4.
Yeah. I think it will be Liverpool.
Jose will be sacked by Christmas.
Nah, he won't. He'll be all right.
La Jose, man. La Jose.
Yeah.
I think actually, like, with that being said, I think Jose he's actually done a really good job at Spurs. I think despite kind of everything that's happening over there, I do think some of us have jumped the gun in terms of is he finished? I think we need to really seriously, Sam. Like, I know you're looking at me funny. No, but I've done research, bro. I've done research.
This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been saying, but it's good to hear it from someone else.
Yeah.
No, but all right. Here's a question. When I was saying that he was finished after Man United, were any of you not disagreeing with me?
No, I weren't. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so all of a sudden now he's not finished.
No.
But he's coming in and doing a job, though, isn't it? Like if someone writes me off and then I come back and I show them that I've still got the potential.
Spurs would have finished top 4.
What Mourinho needs to do?
Spurs could have finished top 4.
They could have finished top 4, but he didn't get them top 4.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is from where they were, to me they shouldn't have even been near there.
You know what? I really need to check this out because I'm pretty sure that Man United was only like 2 points or something above Spurs at that time when he took over. It was anything. So like
I've seen the points per game that Jose's picked up since he's been appointed. He's like 3rd, and also as well since So if Jose would have been there longer, then there is an argument that we could have finished in the top 4. So he has done a good job, definitely.
It's not been as bad. Yeah, it's not been. I think the media have a massive role to play in how he's viewed as a coach, and I just think we're being. I don't know. I just think you just have to kind of look at the football and kind of look where Spurs are at and look where they're at now, where they could have finished. I get it. They dropped the ball themselves. I think Pat would be the first to admit that. But at the same time, they could have had a much better season, and that's all because of him. So I think I don't know if he's finished just yet. And that's what I'm saying. I think next season will be the season to really judge him anyway, because he only come in halfway through the season anyway. So I think next season will be the season where we could sit down and be like, all right, let's see what he can really do. So
agreed. Well said.
Did Martial do a good job this year, John?
We doing this. All right, Martial. Yeah. Okay. Where do I even start with this, bro? We don't even start. Okay, so answer me this, yeah. Why are you getting another striker?
I said another striker because of backup.
What, to Martial?
Backup, I said. Not to displace Martial.
Okay. I said a new striker.
No. I said backup because of our squad, so that we can change things in games and We can bring people
He's
off
had
the
a good
bench
season.
and we can
He's had a good season.
rotate, like in the FA Cup, play another striker instead of Igalo. That's what I was saying, John.
Okay. He's had a good season. Let's leave it at that.
Bro, that's paining him to say that, you know. The burn.
The jury's still out on him, in my opinion. The jury's still out on him. What is it? 5 years? Sorry, no. Yeah, 5 years.
First season that he's got to play as a striker all season.
It's been 5 years though.
First season he's got to play as a striker all season.
I'm just saying it's been 5 years. It's been a long time.
You can't be wrong and strong, John. You know, can't be. Well, 1 minute we're praising Jose for doing a good job, but then you know Martial. You know,
I gave him his flowers. I said he's done well, right?
But the jury's still out. Why is the jury still out?
Because it's been 5 years. That's why the jury's still out.
Oh, okay.
It's been 5 years. It's been a long time. I think you were expecting more of him by now, personally.
But the only season that he got to play up top. But yeah, we'll leave it there. It's the only season. 17 Premier League goals, 22 in all competitions. First season playing as a number 9. You know, and we've talked about other players, you know, with the money, because John mentioned money earlier on about how that can unsettle a dressing room. But then when that happens at United, it's not meant to have no impact. But we see you, John. We see you. Jason, anything you want to add there before we wrap up?
No, I'm good, man.
Arsenal, got to do better next season.
Yeah, 100%.
Have to.
How do you feel about Pepe's first season, Jay?
We've seen bits every now and again. Obviously it's his first. I'm not going to judge him too much. We've seen one or two things. There is a player in there. You get what I'm saying? Just needs to probably get to grips with it next season. You know, one thing that does infuriate me about Pepe is that he doesn't really take on defenders when he gets the ball. It's a lot of this stopping and shielding and releasing the ball to, like, run at them, man. Just run at them. Go past. He's quick as well. It's not like he's not quick. He's quick.
Yeah.
Just
and
take
he's got
on
the skill
defender
as well. He's got the dribbling ability.
He's got to use his right foot a lot more, because he uses his left foot. He's left-footed, obviously, but he plays on the right side majority of the time. So, you know, when you get to that touchline, you're going to be able to cross the ball. And what he does, he always checks back, tries to get back on his left to put the ball in.
Okay.
Sometimes you just got to use your right foot and just pull it in, man. No time to be turning back and trying to get it back on your favourite foot.
Yeah.
That's like most players, though, unfortunately, Jay.
Yeah,
that are one-footed and they're playing on the other side. They then look to cut in.
But for me, as a professional footballer, you should be able to use both of your feet.
Yeah, but I totally agree. But unfortunately, in the world that we live in, professional footballers, that ain't the case, man. Especially left footers as well. Left footers are so one-foot dominant.
Yeah,
it's pathetic. In my opinion, it's actually pathetic. It is.
Bro,
it's pathetic.
It's mental, because we've got Lamella and he's so left-footed. It's unbelievable. There'll be so many times where he could shoot the ball with his right foot or pass the ball with his right, and he won't do it. And I'm like, is your right foot that weak that you can't use it?
But then you hear commentators when they're saying, it goes, but it was on his weaker foot, or he did a shot with his weaker foot and all of this. I'm like, no. And this is what I'm saying. There should be no such thing as a weaker foot. Yeah, you can have a weaker foot. It's not going to be as strong as, but you should still be able to do the basics with your other foot.
The top players are banging with each foot. You know, one touch, bang. No matter what foot it's on, one touch on the other foot and bang, they let the ball go. So yeah,
and that's
I hear what you're saying, Jay.
That's why Mason Greenwood is a bad man still.
He's definitely. Oh my God.
At that age, to be accomplished and have a finish on either foot like that. I've not seen that, to be fair. I can't remember the last time I've seen a youngster who can finish like that.
Yeah,
I'm just even thinking. I can't remember. Like I really don't.
In the unders, man, I need to find this clip and put it on the IG. You know, man's taking free kicks, top bins, right foot, free kick, top bins, left foot.
What?
Like,
serious?
I'm going to find the clip. I'm going to find the clip and I'm going to throw it on my IG.
Yeah.
Free kick, one right foot, one left foot. Totally two different games, but both top bins.
From what I've seen, I believe it. Like the way he's striking the ball. Yeah, I believe
What is that when you can, because you know, like if you're ambidextrous, it's both hands. What is it if you're both footed? What's that called?
I don't know the name.
Call it the same, you know.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's mad.
But I think that's just, I think that does probably come naturally, but at the same time, it's definitely work. You know what I'm saying? I think as a footballer, as we've all played, you you definitely can work on it. If you're playing with your weaker foot from young, then you'll
build
become
it up.
accomplished.
Yeah,
Because I used to love Cozzola, man. I used to love Cozzola because
Both
he
feet,
was
both
lovely.
feet.
Right foot, left foot. For me,
Anything,
yeah, man. When you're that type, you should be able to do that, and that's why I
definitely.
love Paul Pogba. It doesn't matter right foot, left foot. He can spray the ball. Like I love players that can use both feet, and I'm gonna make sure that my son will be using both feet from early doors because otherwise I'll be calling him pathetic. Pathetic. Why you can't put it in? You know what I mean? Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap up, man. Thank you guys for coming again. As I said, end of the season now. You man come and join me early doors when I started this thing. And boy, we've gone through a whole seasons, the ups, the downs, the arguments, the shouting, the laughter. It's all come to this point here where all of us are relatively happy apart from Jason. And but they can still they can still win an FA Cup though, so he can still have something to smile about.
If Arsenal win the FA Cup, my Twitter's getting deactivated.
Wow.
Honestly, I'm done. You'll see me Usain Bolt. I'm out of here.
Jace, I got one question. Again, I'm not trying to throw shade, but just answer me this. This is for other Arsenal fans out there that might watch this. Yeah. If you lose the FA Cup, right? Are you therefore banter FC for real? Like, is that banter like real? Like the season is banter FC. Just
it's been a poor season from Arsenal. Yeah. Regardless, innit? If we win the FA Cup, a bonus. It's a bonus.
Okay.
But no banter. My club ain't
no banter FC now.
No banter, bro.
Okay.
Banter FC, man. Banter FC, man. We don't know your Banter FC.
Whatever,
for
man.
real, the 8th place, you know. Mad thing. But anyway, thank you all for watching. You guys, sign out, please. Jason, where can they catch you?
Well, I'm not on Insta, but I'm on Twitter, Mr. Jason Alex.
Pat, where can they find you?
Yeah. Insta and Twitter the same as my tag, Patrick Tyrant, all one word.
Wicked. And John, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at jdwelle.
jdwelle. So there you have it for you audio listeners. That's where you can find them. For those that are watching on the visuals, their handles will be on the screen. I am Semps, and it's been brilliant. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. This is Everyone's a Pundit. We are your pundits, and we are out. Peace.
Bless.